Okay, we're going to do a new study this afternoon in regard to the Messiah or the Mashiach's name. And I've written out some things here. I hope you can see it. But anyway, I want to talk to you today about the fact is, what is shua? And we see so many different variations of the name of the Mashiach or the Messiah. And there's so much confusion in regard to the name of the Messiah. And we know who, of course, is the author of confusion. That is our enemy. And it's important to really to seek these things out for the truth. You know, I've been studying Hebrew for about 6 years now, and I've spent a lot of time, a lot of hours into trying to understand about the Creator's name and about the name of the Messiah. When I found out about 6 years ago that the Creator's name had been edited out of our English translations, and that it actually, if I was reading from the original text, then his name would appear in there approximately 7,000 times. Well, when I realized that, that became very upsetting to me, because I thought that, you know, this was really something that I couldn't believe. First of all, that I was totally unaware of that and had trusted our translators to translate the scriptures accurately and without any kind of corruption or deception. And let me just say this as well: the word of Yeshua is absolutely true. There is no error in the original text as far as the scripture itself. The word of Yeshua is the truth. Yahushua himself said in John chapter 17, verse 17, he said, "Sanctify them through your truth. Your word is the truth." So the word of Yeshua is true, but you know, we have to realize that we have translations, and you know, most people don't speak Hebrew, most people don't speak Greek or Aramaic, and so we rely on our translators to translate the original text accurately and correctly. And for the most part, they've done, you know, a good job in some of those areas, but in some areas they have failed. And one of that in particular is that they have translated the Creator's name out of our the original text and used the substitute words for it, like Lord or God in some cases, and so that's what brought about mass confusion, and hiding the name of the Creator is actually taking his name in vain, because the Hebrew word for vain means to falsify or to make desolate. In other words, count it as nothing, and that's really what's happened with the Creator's name. But I want to go into too much into that. I want to go into what is shua, and I want to read here what I've written. What do Yeshua or Yeshua, Yahushua, and Joshua all have in common? In other words, what do all these names here have in common? Of course, if you look at it, you'll see that they all end with the shua suffix, and confuse many when it comes to knowing the branch of Yahushua. And so you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 versions right here of the Messiah's name. And so many people are using different forms of his name. And so because of that, there is so much confusion, and people that really want to know the truth and maybe studying Hebrew for the first time are very confused and really just throw up their hands and just make a choice, flip a coin which one you want to use. But there's one name that's not listed here, and which is the accurate name of the son of Yahuwah, and that is Yahusha. And we're going to prove that to you in our sessions beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, if you don't want to know the truth, if you just want to argue and just decide that you've already made up your mind, then you don't need to be listening to this anymore, because you're just going to be frustrated, or if you're not open to receive truth, then it's not going to do very little to help persuade you in that area. So this is just for those who really want to know the truth. It's not prejudiced already in one way or the other. I remember when I first started studying this out, I thought the Messiah, Mashiach's name, was Yahushua. And of course that's not accurate. It took me more time and study to find out that what I was taught was not accurate. So I had to just keep studying myself. And so I'm telling you today, don't take my word for it. Study these things out yourself. But the problem with all these shua endings, that's the conspiracy. Most people, that even our messianic believers, call the Mashiach Yeshua. And that could be further from the truth as far as his name Shua. When you understand what Shua means, it doesn't mean salvation. There's confusion about that. There's misrepresentation of what certain words mean. And of course, you also have to understand that in modern Hebrew and ancient Hebrew, there's a vast difference. And that's added and contributed to the problem of all these different variations of the name of the Mashiach. Ancient Hebrew is totally different from modern Hebrew in the fact that the modern Hebrew, which is also Aramaic, which is a form of Aramaic and Hebrew mixed together, would be, say, modern Hebrew. There's a mixture of both. But that what they've done is, in trying to hide the name of the Creator, and this goes back to thousands of years, actually before the Mashiach or the Messiah ever showed up, they were trying to hide the name of the Creator. And they had their own commandment, their own laws, that it was blaspheme to speak the name of the Creator. And so to hide his name, or to avoid people from pronouncing his name, they had a system of changing the way that the words, actually the Hebrew words, would sound, so you wouldn't be guilty of blaspheming the name of the Creator. Well, first of all, our Creator never told us not to pronounce his name. In fact, it's just quite the opposite. He wanted his name to be proclaimed. He wanted his name known unto all the earth, to every generation, even to the generation that we now live in. So I'm going to stop it here. We're going to do quite a few sessions on this. We're going to, if you'll stay with us, you'll have understanding and knowledge that's going to give you confidence in knowing which name that's accurate, and that which name should be used in pronouncing the name of the Mashiach, of the Messiah. Thank you for your time this afternoon, and we'll join again, okay? I love you, Yahuwah loves you, and we'll see you in our next broadcast. Shalom.